Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installation in the Quickview series. It felt like, and I know, I love to introduce a nonsensical temporality into videos, which is, I felt like I hadn't done a tire Quickview in a while, and YouTube is non-linear. I am of an age where I still think in sequential terms. I think like records and tapes. One thing comes after another. In YouTube, it is everything, everywhere, all at once. It's a completely different experience. We are progressing through in numeric order. So if you are sitting or standing, whatever you're doing, and you're watching a review of a GMade tire, this one being the MT-1901, know that in the, again, we're going to keep this chronological theme. We're going to keep it rolling. The first one we tested was the GMade MT-1904. That was tested some time ago, followed by the MT-1905. We are then going to test the MT-1901. At some point after that, we are going to test the GMade MT-1902. And after that, we are going to test the GMade MT-1903. Much like Pokemon, we gotta catch them all. And then at some point, just to round it out, we're gonna test the GMade Bighorn. Because why not? We're going to run down the GMade. We can have our own little playlist of just GMade tire tests. I have some concerns, which is the GMade tires have gotten progressively better as the numbers have gotten higher. The 1904 is perfectly acceptable. The 1905 is actually a good tire. In terms of something that comes fitted to a vehicle, it's up there with the Canyon Trail and at the end of the list. It's up there with the Canyon Trail, let's put it like that. This foam is a Class 1 medium density from J-Concepts, because these are the foams that come in GMade tires. You will notice, like no two are alike. They're just made out of, this is definitely a cost-saving measure. None of them will actually be like the same length. So you get over, and I have, because you saw me show a number of, there's so many. There's so many. So we're just mono-specking. Regardless of what Quickview you're watching, whether it be the 1901, the 1902, or the 1903, it's these J-Concepts single-stage foams that come in all of the J-Concepts Class 1s. So, Tusks, Megalithics, there should be another one that I insert here, and mentally it has escaped me. And you know how we work, or you don't. I don't know. We mount one, we leave one unmounted so we can go through the process, and I am nothing if not easily distracted. So I mounted the other three of these, like 2 weeks ago. Gotta keep that temporality theme going. And I have quite literally no recollection of the ease or difficulty of mounting, but something's telling me that it was easier than most. That could be because the carcassal thicknessity is extreme on these. We will also have to Starsky. Let's see how we Starsky. That is, does it make a noise if we rub it on this mat? If it makes a noise when we rub it on that mat, we kind of know. We don't know, but we know that we're doomed from the outset. That they're going to be, I didn't look. Oh, I'm the luckiest person there is. I'm going to ride that luck out. This is a directional tire. It's got that Trep flavor. That's a big reason for worry. The Trepador, I have come to a conclusion, and it has been bolstered by evidence gathered empirically, and that is that the Trepador pattern, kind of this pattern like this, it doesn't translate to scale. The highest scoring Trepador pattern we've ever tested is something like a 92 point, it's either a 92.6 or a 92.8, and it's the Proline Trepador, the odd Class 3 one that's about 5 inches tall. But it is the lowest scored Proline tire that we've ever tested. So compound plays a big part. Oh, right. Okay, that's not bad. It's not chirping. Chirping is bad. So we will throw them on our guy. We've had our in-house Class 1 test rig, who now, because he was sitting on top of this, the tables are going to turn now. Sidewall claims 105.38. 105. 105. Can you do it? It's 38. I mean, I know I shouldn't sound as excited as I do. Truth in advertising has become increasingly rare. When the sidewall of a tire says a number, or a sequence of numbers, more often than not, it's a guideline. It's going to be... I'll go on an unofficial record, and I'll say plus or minus 3 millimeters is probably somewhere in the middle of the average. So when we see a tire that says 105, but I've seen tires that say 106 and are like 111 tall. In tire terms, that's enormous. You're in a different class of tire now. Is that just a scratch? That is an aggressive scratch. Lord Pentabee, first of his name, is quite, again, literally just an Enduro SE, but had to have his links changed in order to match this hard body. And that required changing all of the links, because it was the most important thing to get the bumpers to line up. They did not line up at all. So, but other than that, he is stock shock, stock gearbox, stock gearing, stock everything. So here's the first thing that I will say about the 1901s. It looks pretty good. Like, if you're looking for a scale, like, meaty tire, we're looking pretty good. I have my concerns. Mostly based in voices from the internet who are all, oh, if you think that tire's bad, you should try this tire. And one of the tires that comes up in those conversations is the GMade MT-1901. Aside from Osmium level channel supporter Shicker MT, who sent these tires in for testing, because I foolhardily said during a live stream, I've never tried the MT-1901 or 1903, and then they arrived. I don't know who's buying these. I don't know what application this fits. If you're setting out to buy a Class 1 tire, you're probably buying a Pivot or a Tusk or a Megalithic, which are all very high-scoring tires. And, I mean, I know these are inexpensive because you got to replace the foams. Anyway, enough of the speculation already. We go to the rocks. We go to the Canyon Tire Test Protocol. 10 stations. Each station might have more than one aspect being tested. Tires are eligible for a score between a 5.0 and a 9.9 at any given obstacle. That is our framework. The worst, the mythical, the impossible to exist worst possible tire would score a 50. A 5.0 means that the tire is incapable of completing the task before it. But if the tire flails and flails and fails, but still manages to do it, that is a 7.5. So a 75 tire is a tire that is really bad, but can still do things. So if you go to the spreadsheet, which is linked in every description, you can see all of the tire results from the Tire Test Protocol, and a gravely concerning number of tires that have scored in the 70s. I will tell you right now, before we begin, basically 93 is kind of my cutoff. If a tire has scored below 93, there is really no reason to buy that tire, unless you have some overwhelming need to satisfy vanity. You need a tire that fits something very specifically. You have built a scale version of the vehicle you drive in real life. This is the only reason that you're going to see Nitto Trail grapplers, that you're going to see... I'm trying to think of another scale tire, and I'm really... the axial wow peaks, something like that. The only reason you're going to use those is you need them to match to something. This is not a tire in that category. It is not a scale tire. It is the GMade MT-1901. And now we're going to find out how frustrating this morning will be. Let us get this GMade road on the show. Ooh, that's a significant amount of lug noise. That's never good, right? I mean, take first note, there's a little bit of body shudder, but nothing like approaching hop. The carcass is very thick, very thick. Has to be perhaps potentially around 3 millimeter thickness below the lug. So we're not getting a lot of conformity from the tire. So when we do a spin in here, cruise control spin in, yeah, not even any, the hop doesn't increase when we go to wide open. So what we're trying to do is get the, soften it up, warm it up, whatever we can do. Oh, even the positionability. Come on. Come on. Ooh, there is. Ooh, come on, lift it. No. They drove back real nice. They were real nice on the drive back. Ooh. It was noisy. Come on. Do you remember when I foreshadowed, unknowingly? So, Slick Rock is the acid test. It is the, you have to be able to do this. A tire needs to be able to do this. Otherwise, it's getting a 5. Come on. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. We're going to give it another 30 seconds or so. Okay, if I can get that rear. Nope. Okay, we'll try the easy side over here. Running out of time here. Running out of time. Come around this right hand. Oh. Whew. I mean, that's how close we were to a 5. It wasn't even touch and go. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. There is, and this is not GMade unique. There have been other tires in the past where I make a remark something along the lines of, I had traction and then I didn't. There's just a point where the available grip just stops. You just can't go any further. These are that, but worse. They start off with a significantly lower amount of traction. This tire could get a 6.3 for this because it did make the soft side, but over this right here, a tire that is going to score above 90 has to be able to do this. And this tire is not above a 90. Period. So, 7.5 at Slick Rock. That is an inauspicious beginning. Because in the auspices of rock climbing, I don't think it is revolutionary to say that everything comes out of forward drive. Everything is a component of pure forward drive. I've yet to meet a tire that has particularly poor forward drive, but somehow manages to do well enough in other aspects to make us forget that the forward drive is poor. Here at Station 2 here, Daphne's at Undertaker, we have the ability to try a little more application of throttle to get through. Okay, augered in there. This is the cut. That's really bad. Oh. If it doesn't make it up this, that's... Oh, thank gracious. As I said, could easily have been a 6.3 at the first station. We'll give it this opportunity. Some tires like a more straight shot. Now you feel like you're on ice. These tires are all very nearly, in terms of we're not getting side lug involved, in those instances when it's just drive, forward drive, it's like someone has purchased a novelty ice mold shaped like a tire. This is okay, I definitely saw a chunk of white fly off and land. You can see it shining right there. What is that? Something definitely flew off on that on that landing. Okay, we're gonna give him a little more. Okay, this is it. This is your final. Oh, yes. You know what this tire did? I'm not even gonna go 7.5. I'm not even gonna go 7.5. That felt so rewarding. This is one of those things. It's turned him into a less than capable leafer, though, basically. For Daphne's, we're gonna go all the way up to a stellar 7.8. Not white, but rather chrome. The part ejected is the driver's side door handle. It's actually broken in half. Which is kind of impressive. Just a tiny little piece of styrene plastic. I got deep into a thought. It had almost crossed the brain lip barrier, and I had almost said, these don't feel too bad. And then an uncatchable. An uncatchable is not good. Like, see, once again referring to the theoretical 50 score tire, which I don't think is possible. If we've made it to here, we can side hill. We're lifting that rear, which means that other tire side gets to a point very akin to we had traction and then we didn't. We had sidewall support and then we didn't. And the fact that most of the compression is occurring on driver rear, and there it goes. Boy, ABS really slides. So completing what we call yellas, the transition at the end of the side hill, is not required to get a 7.5. I'm looking at this behavior. I'm looking at the side hill behavior prior to that. Now, I'm having an internal debate here. Does a number exist intentionally between a 7.5 and a 5? Does the mythical 6.3? Because it can side hill and it's kind of okay. Nah, it's just going to be a 7.5. A 7.5 is failing. So we look at what I call the pull-up right here, which is how far a rig makes it right there. And that's really, really bad. The pullback from that is what we call the shuttle. We pull out to this side. We grab this edge, and then because that edge has grabbed and we can get over there, we should be able to get passenger rear up over the lip now. Kind of doesn't matter how much load we get on a tire. When the tire gets heavily loaded, it doesn't get any better. Okay, now we're just trying to give points away. There you go. There you go. The protocol is ever evolving. We are going to call that speed make there. Oh, that's pretty good. We're going to call that speed make the 63. It couldn't do the shuttle. It couldn't do the other side. Should be a 5, but we could burst up. We could at least burst up. So we'll get a 63 out of that. 6.3, as it were. That honestly got further up than I thought it would. So we're getting some hop now. A little bit of hop, a little hop and pop. Meaning we're almost getting to something. I'm using cruise control now to see if I can grab it. Okay, so we're gonna try same on the bump. All right, okay. That bump, you know, due to the chevron-y tread, not bad. Actually not bad. Put it back down. Put it back down. Hey. Okay, everything we just saw right here at the Beast was not good. But it's the best it's done so far. You got to always look at the bright side of life. So I'm going to go middle, the middle of the middle. So 6.3 on the one side and a 7.5 on the other is a 13.8, which is a 6.5. Is that a 6.9? I think it's a. We're going to give it a 6.9. We don't ordinarily give 6s out. I can already tell you that in our old scoring method, before we consolidated, this would be a junk view. It'd be getting a junk view score. So the manipulations are ever occurring. We're trying to score every tire on the same scale. And because the variances in quality are so vast in quote unquote crawler tires, that is a particularly difficult task to accomplish. I was trying to think, do I have a spot where these could make it up on more easily? Because they are not going to help me. And nothing is pure bad. Nothing is also pure good. It's a spectrum. These guys, when I get into some real low speed, non-challenging stuff, like right here, these are strongly okay at this. They just run out of traction so fast. Anytime you feel like you have some glimmer of hope, they just completely cut loose on you. And offer a lack of traction to the point where sometimes you can't even get back into like you can't reverse through the line that you were just on because they don't work they don't work going backwards either. That, you saw it, right? There was just a split second, but we were at full throttle and we moved backwards. This is the easier side. This is the easier side if you have grip. There's no movement to the left. Yeah, this test here at Oblivion is one of the most important to me because this is directionality and positionability. It's the ability of me to move the front and rear ends of the vehicle around to position it to get into the line that I want to get into. I can't get into anything right here. At real low speed, if it doesn't get steep, I feel like I can almost do something. And then, well, that's stopping it from getting a 5. And then right here, soon as we side loaded, this tire was gone. You literally can't get above about 15-20% throttle. Okay, that's the best thing it's done. I think we got there by chance, though. I don't think I could do it again, and I don't want to spend another 5 minutes trying to do it again. So, as such, really, if we look at the two aspects of Oblivion and the two aspects of the Beast, we're going to give it another 6.9 because it was right there. Same things again. We did it, but we also didn't do it. And slather this on top like a sauce. I don't know what we're doing at all at this point. We're just satisfying academia. On to the 3-in-1 that is dead limit. First thing we've got, it's not compressing at all. At all. That amount of weight transfer should be turning one of those rears into a pancake. Shuttle out. So we're sitting on a 5 here at Daphne's third because, should be no surprises, over at Oblivion we had 0 positionability. Like right here, this is completely relying on some amount of drive to come from the rear tires because the fronts are barely in contact with the surface and they're transferring all their load onto the rear axle and there's no drive. There's no drive. Under no circumstance do I feel like I can make either side of this because I know what I need to get the tire to grab, and it is not gonna do it. Well, we just got into an unintentional self-right. All right, well, let's go out of order. We're already out of order. You're out of order. Everybody's got to have a flyer score, you know? Every tire. Okay, we're gonna try that's the drive to the sky and hit reverse and you're back on your wheels. These are good at it. Ooh! Is that a bottle cap? Do I have a bottle cap stuck to my front tire? First off, how did a bottle cap get out here? I'm just gonna throw it in a gopher hole. That was really good. Okay, well, let's see if we can get it again. I might have caught it in motion, so hurt. No, solid. It's the thick sidewall, is it not? Yeah, we are going to have a huge point differential. A good tire has a very small point differential between its best score and its worst score. This tire is going to have an enormous point differential. That bump is solid. Just pulls it right back to the middle. The chevrons. We can get a little energy rebound out of it. But other than that, Honestly, yup. That feels like somebody changed the tires out. So this is a perfect illustration of why I don't think there is such a thing as a 50 tire. Daphne's third is a 5.0. That is the worst it's done. It could not do either side, nor do I think it could under any circumstances. Self-riding, I'm going to be fair. That's like a 9.4 on that. The bump, because we're lacking forward drive, it has a little bit of a mono bump. You have to be at a very specific point in the throttle band. But the shape of the bump looks 9.0. That's a 9 bump. All we got, surface transition and wet. Oh, these are gonna be, there's another 5 coming. I don't think we're exactly getting into the prognostications of the oracle when we state that I don't think this thing is gonna do remarkably well on wet. I did kombucha girl face. I just did a surprisingly good right there, and then surprisingly bad right there. I think a lot of it is that the compound is bad. The tread pattern is not that bad, despite it being, well, is it Trepidor adjacent enough? I feel like it might be. I feel like that tread orientation is gonna get you so far, and then it's not. Then you get no. Thou shalt not pass. You get no further. Just scrabbling across the surface. Also, I would like to point out that I effectively have to just rely on hitting the same spot. We can't. It really wants to be going about this fast. But there are a lot of instances where you can't get by at that low of a throttle input. We can get up right here. A little perfect entry notch. Swing around right here. Oh. When that front tire went light, the amount of steering available to the tire that was still on the ground, which should have increased, we managed to push wide when the outside tire in the turn was loaded. That's not how that's supposed to work. It's supposed to be the opposite of that. Yeah, they are what they are. They did indeed show an ability to transition between surface, so I'm going to give it the good old 7.5 because it's, as was mentioned, academic at this point. I responsibly did my pre-math before we got out here to handle the wet. We always give them another little one just in case to see if there was a foam tire agreement, foam insert agreement that wasn't there when we first came out onto the course. And the answer to that here in this case is a pretty convincing no. Yeah, it is a no. They are not any better. As we wet this down, our brain transitions into the mode of a junior high, of a middle schooler. We find ourselves incapable of fending off the wants and wiles of that part of our brain which still exists, overwhelmed with the idea to generate some a form of yo mama joke that the 1901 in yo mama joke fashion. It looks good, mounts easily, otherwise useless. Ooh, I can get there. Hold on. We want to get right in the thuppa zone. Ooh. Can't quite get to the spot. Let's see what the shutter looks like. Look how smooth the action of the roof is. Like there's no, it's not really moving. I didn't assume, I didn't make an assumption that we were going to pull a 5. I had a strong suspicion we were going to pull a 5. 5.0. Which means all we need to do is set it down in a spot. And if you've been following along, you already know the number. But for y'all that just like to ride the tide, I am here to report it is a 73.5, which is really, really bad. Really bad. Even worse than my erstwhile young mama joke. The GMade MT-1901 is a tire that definitely qualifies under a couple of categories. One, if your vehicle came fitted with these tires on whatever GMade you might have bought, dispose of them and buy a better tire. 2, if you're looking at buying a tire that looks like this, there are a lot of other tires that look like this that will work. The Trepidor pattern is, to me, a non-starter. If it looks too much like a Trepidor, don't buy it. For whatever reason, that particular chevron pattern of lugs, and it might be the density of those lugs, does not translate, because we've seen it before. In J-Concepts terms, I kind of look at the Scorpio. Nobody remembers that the J-Concept Scorpio exists because for whatever reason, that tire just doesn't work great. The Scalar is right, the Duratrack Scalar is another one that pops to mind right behind the J-Concept Scorpio, in that it just doesn't work. Like, I don't know if it's the density of the lug. I don't know what it is. I'm not 100% sure what it is about the Trepidor or things that look like Trepidors, but it appears to be inherent. It appears to be in the genetic makeup of it. The shape of that tire does not translate to scale well, because we get a more chunky lug, you get something that looks like a crawler, a flat iron, something like that. They just work. You get really chevroned out tires like a Baja Claw that do amazing. But these MT-1901s in particular, 73.5. Do you all remember way back when I said I consider the cutoff line to be a 93? We missed that by 19.5 points. And it got a 73.5 after its self-rating score is a 9.4, and it got a 9 for bump. Every time I look at it, I feel like I did the math wrong, but then I remember it got 2 5s. So 2 5s and 2 9s basically cancel themselves out. So yeah, we end up at a 73.5. This tire could easily have scored worse. This tire could be in the upper 60s. I don't know if we were feeling generous. I don't know if it was just our minds were overwhelmed with the trickery of how good that bump was and how good that self-right was, but this is not a tire that you buy. This is not a tire that you use. This is the Pokemon where we're catching them all and we're testing them all. And the fun part, what keeps you going? Do you want what keeps me going? I have a bunch of GMade tires sitting on the bench. I want to see who does the best out of the 1, 2, 3, and what's the big one? The big one whose name? It's gone. It's gone. The one that looks like a tractor tire. Who's gonna do the best of the 4? The biggest worry I have is that this, at a 73.5, isn't the worst one we're gonna see. Some part of me thinks the 1902 is gonna somehow be worse. How can it be worse? I feel like it's gonna be worse. That's why I can't do these back to back. I feel like Lord Pennaby needs it, first of his name, needs a day off. We can't subject him to those back to back. So I can't subject you to these back to back. So I'm going to thank you for watching this one. I'm going to invite you to tune in and watch the next one, whatever that is. I invite you to hit me in the comments below. Check out the live streams on Friday. Check out any links if you feel like it, what have you. Subscribe, whatever. You know, whatever you feel like doing in that moment, as long as you ain't hurting nobody, do that thing. We'll see you next one here for the next time here in the canyon. We do sincerely hope that in between now and then you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the
beautiful confines of Crawler Canyon. And we hope that you have a good rest of your day there, buddy.